Look at your childhood photos. That 5-year-old, that awkward teenager, that young adult who thought they had it all figured out. Different body, different thoughts, different personality even. But when you look at those photos, you recognize them, don't you? You say, "That's me." But what is the me that was in that 5-year-old body and is still here now? Your cells have completely regenerated. Your beliefs have changed. Your memories have faded or been rewritten. Your entire personality has evolved. So what's the part of you that hasn't changed? What's the constant? What's the witness that's been watching your entire life unfold? The ancient Vedic sages had a name for it. Atman. Atman. The you that's always been you. In Hinduism, one of the most basic concepts, and one of the most profound. Atman is a Sanskrit word that refers to essence, breath, soul. But it's better translated as self, with a capital S. Not the little self, not the ego, not your personality or your story. The self, the eternal, unchanging core of your being. In Hinduism, Atman is the true innermost essence or self of a living being, conceived as eternal and unchanging. Let me say that again. Eternal and unchanging. While your body ages, while your thoughts come and go, while your emotions rise and fall, while your entire life story unfolds, there's something in you that doesn't age, doesn't change, doesn't move. That's Atman. The term Atman is often translated as soul, but this creates confusion. Because in Western religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, the soul is individual, personal, unique. Your soul is yours. It has your personality, your memories, your essence as a distinct being. But in Hindu philosophy, Atman is different. Atman is conceptually closely related to the individual self, Jivatman, which persists across multiple bodies and lifetimes, but different from the self-idea or ego, ahamkara, the emotional aspect of the mind, chitta, and the bodily or natural aspects, prakrti. Think of it like this. Your ego is the wave that thinks it's separate from the ocean. Your mind is the movement and shape of that wave. Your body is the temporary form the water takes. But Atman is the water itself, the essence, the substance, the unchanging reality beneath all the forms. And here's where it gets wild. All major orthodox schools of Hinduism, Samkhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisesika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta, accept the foundational premise of the Vedas and Upanishads that Atman exists. And in Vedanta philosophy, the culmination of Vedic thought, they go further. Atman equals Brahman. Your individual self is identical to the universal self. The awareness looking through your eyes right now is the same awareness that's looking through every pair of eyes. The consciousness that animates you is the same consciousness that animates everything. You are not a separate drop. You are the ocean, temporarily experiencing itself as a drop. Okay, so if Atman is who you really are, eternal, unchanging, one with everything, why don't you feel like that? Why do you feel separate, limited, vulnerable, small? Because you've been living in a case of mistaken identity for your entire life. The Mundaka Upanishad gives us one of the most beautiful metaphors. Like two birds perched on the same tree, intimate friends, the ego and the self, dwell in the same body. The former eats the sweet and sour fruits of life, while the latter looks on with detachment. Two birds, same tree. One bird, the ego, is frantically eating fruit, tasting pleasure and pain, getting excited, getting disappointed, suffering, striving, seeking. The other bird, Atman, just sits there, watching, peaceful, unchanging. You've been identifying with the wrong bird your entire life. The ego says, I am my name. I am my job. I am my achievements. I am my failures. I am my body. I am my story. And from that identification, everything follows. Fear. What if I lose what I am? Desire. I need more to be complete. Suffering. I'm not enough. While Atman's basis is reality, permanence, and bliss, the nature of ego is illusion, impermanence, and suffering. The ego is Atman's poor cousin, a false center, a mental projection born out of sensory experiences and the accumulation of memories and thoughts. The Upanishads use another metaphor. The body is compared to a vehicle and the soul to the driver. A car cannot run without a driver. Similarly, the body will not work without the presence of the soul. The driver may identify with the car and even feel kinship with drivers of a similar model. Similarly, feelings of friendship or enmity arise from identifying with the body. Think about it. When someone insults your body, why do you get offended? When someone criticizes your work, why does it feel personal? When someone doesn't love you back, why does it hurt? Because you think you are the car. You forgot you're the driver. No, deeper than that. You forgot you're the consciousness watching the driver. The Katha Upanishad expands this. Know the self as the lord of the chariot, body as the chariot itself, buddhi as the charioteer, and mind as the reins. The senses are said to be the horses, and selfish desires are the roads by which they travel. You are not the chariot, body. You are not the horses, senses. You are not even the charioteer, intellect. You are the lord of the chariot, the awareness, the witness, the self. Atman. So if Atman is who you really are, why is it so hard to know? Why can't you just recognize yourself? Because Atman can't be known the way you know other things. In the Katha Upanishad, Yama, the Lord of Death, explains, the self cannot be known through the study of scriptures, nor through intellect, nor through hearing learned discourses. It can be attained only by those whom the self chooses. You can't think your way to Atman. You can't learn your way to Atman. You can't achieve your way to Atman. Why? Because the one trying to know Atman is Atman. It's like your eye trying to see itself, or your hand trying to grasp itself. The knower cannot be known as an object, because it's the subject. In the Kena Upanishad, the problem is further explained. The ignorant one thinks that the self can be known by the intellect, but the enlightened one knows that he is beyond the duality of the knower and the known. So how do you know Atman? Not through knowing, through being. Atman cannot be realized by knowing the Vedas, reading scriptures, preaching, listening to discourses, or speaking about it, but only through self-control, discipline of the mind and body, withdrawal of the senses, and suppression of desires. Here's what the tradition says. Self-inquiry, Atma Vichara. You ask, who am I? Not as a thought exercise, but as a genuine investigation. Who is the one thinking? Who is the one feeling? Who is aware of this moment? And you keep asking until all the false answers fall away. Not, I am this body. That changes. Not, I am these thoughts. Those come and go. Not, I am these emotions. Those rise and fall. Who's left when all the temporary identifications dissolve? Atman, meditation, dhyana. You sit, you watch. You observe thoughts arising and passing. You observe sensations coming and going. You observe emotions appearing and disappearing. And slowly you realize you're not what you're watching. You're the watcher. Consciousness, as spread throughout the body, is a symptom of the soul. The body breathes, but Atman doesn't breathe. It witnesses breathing. The mind thinks, but Atman doesn't think. It witnesses thinking. Emotions happen, but Atman doesn't feel them. It witnesses feeling. Pure awareness. That's what you are. Devotion, bhakti. Some paths don't go through the intellect at all. They go through the heart. You worship, you surrender, you offer everything to the divine. And in that complete letting go, the ego dissolves. What's left? Just Atman, merged with Brahman. Different methods, same destination. The realization, I am not who I thought I was. I am that. I am Brahman. I am Atman. Tattvam asi. Thou art that. Okay, beautiful philosophy. But what does it actually mean to live from Atman instead of ego? How does life look different? 1. You stop taking things personally, because there's no person to take it. Someone criticizes you, that's just information. Someone rejects you, that's just a choice. Someone hurts you, that's pain arising in awareness. But you, Atman, remain untouched. The driver may identify with his car and even feel kinship with drivers of a similar model, but if the soul identifies with the body in the same way, then, preoccupied with the body's condition, he becomes caught in a web of distress and happiness. When you know you're not the car, dents don't destroy you. 2. You stop fearing death. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor any of these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. That's from the Bhagavad Gita. Atman was never born. It will never die. The body? That's temporary. It comes. It goes. But the awareness watching the body, eternal. Death is just the soul changing clothes. 3. You stop seeking completion. The driver is not satisfied maintaining the car alone without looking after his own needs. Similarly, looking after the body alone cannot satisfy the soul. You can have every success, every pleasure, every achievement, and Atman will remain unmoved. Not because it's cold, but because it's already complete. It doesn't need anything. It's the fullness from which everything arises. When you live from that knowing, you stop grasping. 4. You experience oneness, not as a concept, as direct experience. The same consciousness that's looking through your eyes is looking through every pair of eyes. The same awareness that animates you animates the tree, the bird, the stranger on the street. At the deepest level, there is no separation. Just one infinite consciousness experiencing itself in infinite forms. The pervasive nature of the Atman becomes conspicuous. The Atman is in all beings, and all beings are in the Atman. When you see that, not just think it, but directly perceive it, everything changes. Compassion becomes natural, because harming another is harming yourself. Love becomes effortless, because you're loving yourself in another form. Service becomes joy, because you're serving the one self that we all are. Here's the beautiful paradox at the heart of all this. You're trying to know Atman, but you are Atman. So what's actually happening? Atman is trying to know itself. Consciousness is trying to become conscious of itself. The I is trying to see itself. And the moment it does, the moment awareness becomes aware of its own nature. That's called Atmajnana, self-knowledge. And that self-knowledge is moksha, liberation. It's not that you become something new. It's that you recognize what you've always been. Each one of us is God, Atman. Nobody is deprived of this. When we realize our infinite self, we are replete. There is nothing more to desire. You spend your whole life searching for yourself. In achievements, in relationships, in experiences, in spiritual practices. And then one day you realize, the searcher is what you were searching for. The awareness hearing these words right now. The consciousness hearing this voice. The presence that's been here your entire life. That's Atman, not hidden, not distant, not something you'll discover someday. Here, now, always, you are not your name. You are not your story. You are not your successes or your failures. You are not your body or your mind or your emotions. You are the eternal witness of all of that. Pure consciousness. Unchanging awareness. Atman. Atman was never born, will never die, can never be harmed. It's what you were before you were born. It's what you'll be after you die. It's what you are right now, underneath all the noise. So here's the invitation. Stop looking for yourself out there. Stop waiting to become worthy, enlightened, complete. Just notice what's already here. The awareness that's hearing these words. The consciousness that's watching your thoughts. The presence that's been witnessing your entire life. That's not in you. That is you. And it's the same you that's in everyone and everything. One self, infinite expressions. Atman. You've been searching for home, but you never left. You are home. Welcome back. If this landed, drop a like and tell me. When do you feel most like your true self? Not your ego, not your story, but the awareness underneath? Let's explore this together. Subscribe if you want more ancient wisdom that cuts through the noise and helps you remember who you actually are. You are not who you think you are. You are the one who's thinking, and that one, eternal.